We are back with another E30 video. Let's go! Now in the last video, we removed the engine. And I mentioned that now that the engine's out, we can really focus on what needs to be done, which is rust repairs. Now I showed you guys quite a bit of rust in the last video, but I think in this video we're going to focus on the rear. So there's a rear beam that the rear passenger seatbelts connect to that goes from spring perch to spring perch. It's completely rotted through and the whole system needs to be replaced. So in this video we're going to work on removing spot welds, grinding welds out, and removing the metal to bend new metal and put thicker, stronger metal back in. If that's something you guys would like to watch, stick around and hopefully you guys will enjoy. So I'll show you what work needs to be done. Now I've already started to do a little bit of work on here. So I removed most of the spot welds and some of the bead welds that were up here and in there. This rear beam is basically 3 sections. So it's this section that ties it into the rest of the chassis, and it's identical on that side. And then you got this middle beam that attaches to both these connecting supports. And then these are the brackets that the rear seat belts bolt into, here and there. So my game plan is I'm going to remove it section by section. So I'll remove this, rebend new metal to make sure it's almost exactly the shape of this, and then put it in, realign it to make sure that it's aligned properly. And then I'll do the same to the other side. Then I'll remove this whole beam, bend it in a metal bender, and make sure it's all aligned properly and everything's good to go. I'll also be able to use these 2 seatbelt mount brackets as sort of a guide. As you can see, there's these little grooves where they're supposed to go, so to kind of show me how it's supposed to go. So removing it section by section like that is a better idea, because if I were to just remove everything all at once and kind of try to bend it to what it was and then put it back in, I guarantee that most of it will be on the line and it'll be messy and it won't look good, and I want it to look good. Enough said, let's get under there and start removing this. Let's go, dude. We are finally able to get it out. So this is what it kind of looks like. It's mangled because I had to bend it and stuff to get it out, but you could just see how bad the rust is. You can see where I drilled out the spot welds, kind of pried away. There is still some leftover metal right here that I need to get away, but I got that main section off that ties in the beam to the rest of the chassis. Yesterday, I went and picked up the piece of sheet metal, and I got 14 gauge, which is around 1.9 millimeter thickness. I measured the chassis rail with a vernier caliper, and it was 1.6 roughly, which is around 16 gauge. It's always recommended you either go the gauge steel that you pulled off the chassis, especially when it's structural, or lower. Lower is thicker metal. So I just went with the next gauge lower, which was 14, just to be safe, and it'll add more structure to the car, and maybe I'll add in some reinforcements as well since I'm in there, make it a little bit better than it was. But let's get to cutting this out. I think I'm going to cut it out section by section and kind of work the pieces, and then we'll do a lot of back and forth underneath the car, test fit and stuff. So alright, I'll kind of explain to you guys my plan of attack here. So I figured that it'd be quite hard to bend a single piece of sheet metal into this, just because it's like such an odd shape. There's so many grooves and bends that it'll be quite hard to try to fabricate something out of this. So my plan is I'm going to treat each face as a piece. So like the top face will be a piece, this sidewall and this side will be a piece, and I'll focus on those individually, and then when I have them all ready, cut and ready to be put into the car, I'll weld them all together to fit this shape. And I've actually already gone under the car and used painter's tape and kind of traced the one on the passenger side spring perch. So if you can kind of see, like if I flip it over, it'll kind of go on the car like that, if you know what I mean. So this is the passenger side, so it is reversed. This is the driver's side. But I can do the shape and then just revert it. Again, going that route and focusing on little pieces at a time allows you to really concentrate on those pieces and make sure they're right. Otherwise, if you were just to kind of tackle the whole thing at once and hope for the best, you might have to go in and redo it, which I really don't want to do, because rust repair is a pain in the ass. So I'd rather just do it once, do it right, and you know, when the car is finished, I just kind of have that thought in the back of my head that I know that I did it right the first time. So let's get this piece of metal cut out and we'll go and fit it and stuff. All right, might be able to kind of get an idea of how it's going to fit. It kind of boomerangs onto this chassis rail and then connects into there, so it kind of ties everything together. If we go over here and look at this one, the passenger side, it boomerangs back into that main rail here. And you can see I trace it off of this side. So now it's just time to get this cut to perfection, and we'll get going with the other pieces. All right, so I actually am pretty happy with the size. I didn't cut any off. I just kind of sanded down, made all the edges smooth and non-jagged, got rid of all the burrs. It is a bit bigger than what was in there before, and that's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Well, reason is to get rid of the rust, but to reinforce it, make it stronger, make it better, thicker with new metal. This was the old piece, and that would go on there like that. So it slides on there, ties in both rails, makes it stronger. So before I can put any new metal in, I obviously need to patch this hole here. So what I'm going to do is, before I start making more of this piece, I'm going to get rid of all these spot welds, get rid of all this rust here, cut this out, put a new piece in here, weld it in, make sure everything's good to go before I start putting metal over top. Then once all this is sealed and re-welded and no rust, I'll put a coat of epoxy primer over it, just to make sure that if moisture does end up getting in there, once everything's back on, it's all nice and sealed up. So. Alright, so I got everything cleaned off the best I can, and I kind of marked out already where I'm going to cut, which is along this seam here, along this line that way, just because this is all pitted and the metal's thin and everything. If this wasn't pitted, I'd leave it, but I might just cut this out, see what it looks like up in there, and if I need to cut anything else out, I will. But as for now, gotta get rid of this. And then this is kind of sucky because it's right on the edge where the metal bends, so I don't know if I'm going to have to bend a piece down, or I can just kind of cap it off on here. But we'll get to cutting, and then we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so I was able to cut along this seam. This cut's kind of messy, but I got it cut out to where I wanted. I checked in behind here. There's no rust in there. There's no rust going out this way, so I think I made a good cut. This is a pretty easy shape to fabricate up. So I'm just gonna put painter's tape over it. Then I'll trace out a line with the Sharpie, and then I'll go put it on the piece of metal and cut it out. now that we got this piece cut, we're gonna go back under the car. I'll show you what I need to do. So I pretty much got this all cleaned up, got it down to bare metal all around the edges, but I still need to do a little bit more sanding just to make sure there's no rust. And then I'm gonna spray epoxy primer all up in here and on these welds because metal is gonna be going here. I just wanna make sure there's a good seal back here so there's no corrosion. We got it welded in there. I grinded down all the welds with a flap disc, which I need to get a new one tomorrow because that one is no more. And then up in here around this spring hat, I need to get in with my little file sander, but I also can't because this belt is also destroyed. So far, you know, it's not beautiful. Never said it would be, but it's something. It's holding in there tight. So I'm gonna give it a good coat of epoxy and just wait until I get all the sanding belts and stuff, and then we'll come back and sand it down and then fill in some more. So now, as I wait for the sanding stuff to come in, and once I coat it, the epoxy needs to dry for a couple hours, so I'll probably continue on tomorrow or later on. But I'm gonna start on the engine bay. Now there's a lot of work that needs to be done in here. Firstly, removing those tires. Wow, that was quick. This is the glorious engine bay of doom. I haven't been in here since I took the engine out, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done, including rust work, pretty much everywhere. And when I took the engine out, I noticed that in the firewall, somebody in the past, one of the previous owners, did a botch patch job of whatever the heck this was. I don't even know what they did. They painted over the brake line, they slapped on Bondo or silicone or whatever the heck that is over their botch flux core welds. Not excited to see what's under there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's no front core support. And that's because I'm doing a removable core support for obvious reasons. Those being easy engine swaps and down the road easy maintenance like the M20 and then the M52, and then if need be I need to do maintenance to them. They're easy to take out. So yeah, plan is with the engine bay is I'm completely stripping it down to just paint so I can take care of the rust. All the parts need to be replaced or refurbished depending on what condition they're in. All the lines are going to need to be replaced, those including brake, fuel, coolant, power steering, vacuum, any lines you could think of. We're going to sand down the engine bay once it's rust free, and then I'm going to get it ready for paint. I'm going to rattle can it because it is the engine bay, and eventually later on down the line I'm going to get it professionally painted, but for now I just want it to look nice from 10 feet away. And a little side note, I think from this point of the project forward I'm going to be working from the front of the car backwards. I know I was talking to you guys about doing that rear beam and stuff, but cutting all that metal, especially the thickness of it, and there's layers of it, there's like 2 or 3 layers overlapping because it ties right into the spring hat and the chassis. It's a lot of work to make sure that's precise and correct, welding it in and making sure I'm doing it correctly. And it also takes a heck of a lot out of you, like working down there, bending metal, welding, hammering, all the rust getting in your eyes and mouth for 5 hours a day, to come out and take a step back and look at the car and nothing really visually to be done. It's kind of draining and it feels like the project is taking way longer than it should, which it has. In my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna jack it up, I'm gonna do all this work, I'm gonna be done by the end of the summer. It's freaking almost halfway through August and the car is not even fully torn apart yet. So I think for my sanity, working at the front of the engine bay will allow the car to come along a little bit better and feel more completed, at least in my head. And then I'll gradually, over time, work on this. But as of right now, clear out the engine bay for this video, get it torn apart and everything, sanded down. Next video, painted, all new parts back in engine bay. And then probably the video after that, we're gonna be taking this thing apart and then rebuilding it to get it back in the engine bay. I'm gonna line everything that I take off on this bench so I can work away at cleaning everything and putting it back in. And also, so I don't get distracted with different aspects of the car, because that's what I've been doing and it hasn't been working out. So when you take back the fuse box, you could see previous owner welds all from here to the corner. He's not even done proper bead welds to seal it. He's just done little tack welds all the way around. But obviously there was some sort of leak, like made rust. But he's just tack welded it and like sealed it with Bondo or silicone, or I don't even know what this is. Anyway, I gotta grind all that out and see what it's like under there, because I'm definitely gonna be redoing that. Well, there it is. She's finally out. Oh my God. All right, guys. I know this is not the ending I said it'd be, nor that you probably want, but something has popped up into my E30 plan, and it kind of changes the course of everything in a positive way. I'll get more into that in the next video. I thank you if you made it this far. I know this video is flip-flop back and forth from literal back to forth of the car. That's pretty much what I've been doing with this whole project, because everything is so overwhelming. But if you stuck with me this far, I appreciate it. And if you're this far, why not give me a subscribe? Really helps me out, motivates me to post more and not get as mad working on stuff like this. But I appreciate it, and see you guys in the next video. So, peace.